All right, getting started here. Let's actually introduce ourselves this time. I am James. We have Matt here with the blue headphones. Kai, of course, in the middle, guesting with us tonight. Very happy to have the gentleman. And then Austin on the audio equipment.
Austin!
Hello.
There he is. He exists, folks. He exists. Kai, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, you know.
Good thing we got a phone.
Yeah.
Waited a long time for that. We waited till everyone else got rid of their phones before we installed the old landline.
What's old is new. Come on.
Got to get that 800 number in here so that, people call in. We should get that.
There's something to live things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To when someone can call. And by someone, I mean people who have time to call. So a very specific part of the population. Have you guys ever called into radio shows, try to get in on that?
I called into Loveline, actually. We were talking about Loveline. I called into Loveline back when I was a young kid.
What era? Dr. Drew and
Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Nice.
I called in and I was in what was it? Probably like 7th or 8th grade, and I didn't quite. Yeah, I was young, man, calling into that show.
What were you asking about?
How do you masturbate?
Funny you say that. I did figure out what that word meant listening to Loveline, but no, I called in the episode. Adam would talk about his favorite porn star, which was this woman named Minka, and she was the Asian big boob queen. So they got her as a guest, and it was a big deal. And I just was I was young, so I didn't understand. I was like, I'm gonna call in, I'm gonna just say how awesome they are, blah blah blah. And I didn't even ask a question. I just said, "Oh my God, Adam and Drew, you guys rock." I was the first call of the show because they thought I was gonna ask a question to Minka, and I didn't. And I just was like, "Oh my God, I just love you guys." And they clicked me and they were like, "Cool, thanks." And it's out there forever. So I have friends that like Loveline, so you can find it. Yeah. And it's a very prominent episode, and I'm the first call, and they're just like, "Cool, thanks." So when I listened to it, I'm like, man, I had such an opportunity to do a thing, and I just never fucking did it. I missed the chance.
You can only get your ass kissed on air so many times before it loses its appeal.
Well, he was excited.
Real nice kid. Thanks. Next. Next caller.
Well, it's nice of you. It's good of you as a young man to try to call these two and, share your love for them.
Yeah, it was a botch. It was a botch, though.
It's awesome.
If you could go back, what question do you think you would have asked? Or would you?
I would have asked a question about Minka right off the bat. Adam, what's your favorite scene with Minka? And please tell her about it. You know what I mean? Something that would make him, you know what I mean? Oh, of course.
What was her specialty, by the way?
What was hers?
Yeah, what was her specialty?
Oh, she was the Asian big boob queen. So she had ginormously fake set.
Yeah.
And it was just comically big. Way
unhealthy.
How do you know they were fake?
Yeah, right. It could have been natural. Generally, when you have two beach ball size things on your body.
Okay.
It seemed like there was a phase where it went to they were just triple Z's. I don't know the cups. I don't buy bras.
I don't know my way around a woman at all. So you can.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, absolutely. It was once you could do this thing, it's let's take it to the max, like we do with everything, right? Let's just see how far we can take this thing, and then we'll figure it out. We got to hit the upper limit before it can balance.
So Matt was trying to call in on Loveline.
Yeah.
Getting on the radio. About 18 years ago. Is that what you're saying right here?
It's about 18 years
Dating
ago.
things a
I
little bit.
used to listen to that show.
Kai, have you tried it? Have you tried to get in on there?
I've made plenty of calls. Never got through though. Never.
Requesting songs or
Everything. All It's what's this itch about? What's this? The love line.
So you seriously tried to call and never got in through?
No, yeah, not really. No, I don't think so. Not that I remember.
I called again, 7th, 8th grade. I called in as FM radio was dying and had requested a song successfully.
Did you get on the air and heard your voice request it?
I believe, briefly. I think I was requesting Andrew WK Party Hard for me and my buddy.
When it's time to party.
Yeah, we had
That's
been
a
introduced to
great
testosterone for the first time around
Were you guys
that
getting
era.
ready to work out, or what was going on?
I think we were doing a cross-country run, New York to California.
Oh,
and
nice.
we were looking
Forrest
for a song.
Gumping it.
Yeah, we wanted to loop a song the entire time. And Party Hard came up as one of the first options.
Keep that driving going,
Kai, do you still listen to the radio? Is that something?
Yeah, I do. I am. I listen to NPR. I'm that guy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I listen to NPR. That's what I listen to.
Well,
when I'm on
give
radio.
the shout out to the local station. What are the letters?
Me too.
Oh,
me too.
jeez.
91.5.
WBEZ.
Yeah.
WBEZ.
They got a spot over at by Northeastern over there, right? And they're
It's actually out of Navy Pier. The WBEZ is.
Is it?
You're talking about WTTW.
Channel 11. Yeah, Channel 11 or something.
Also good. Public broadcasting.
Yeah.
Gotta support public broadcasting.
Yeah.
Also good.
Both good.
Favorite PBS show? Let's hear it.
Downton Abbey.
Oh, jeez.
Real
You
quick.
actually watched that?
Oh man, I love Downton Abbey.
Isn't there a movie or something?
Yeah, it's coming out. We're actually watching the final season again.
Queen shows up, right? Is that what that one's about?
I
I don't even want to. Why did I even say that? Because
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
like pretend like I even know what's going on. Because that's about as much as I know about Downton Abbey.
I tell you what, it's a really enjoyable show.
All
It's
I
a
know
nice
is
spirit show.
McGonagall is in it.
She is, and we were talking. Me and my partner were talking about how she's the best character in the show, and if she wasn't in the show, it would not be nearly as good. But she drives the show.
I mean, she gets paid the big bucks to purse those lips in that exact way, in the exact British way.
Withering looks. She makes millions for withering looks. You know what I'm saying?
Take
That's
it. Take it
amazing.
where you
That's
get
a
it.
skill.
Yeah.
That's definitely a skill.
Yeah, but it's a fine show.
Does Pokemon count as a
PBS show?
Was that on PBS?
No way.
No,
Come on.
Pokemon.
I
was
swear
not
when I
on.
was a kid, like it was like Dragon Tales would be
No,
on, and then
like-
Pokemon.
Channel 26 of you, maybe. But like
Yeah, maybe the you.
Channel 11? Come on.
I'm confusing it
Like
with
it's
like
like
the
Agatha
other
Christie, you know,
non-popular.
Inspector Poirot kind of stuff on that show.
That's a
on
great
that
show, too.
channel. That was good. Yeah, that was.
I pegged you guys for Antiques Roadshow fans.
No.
Love
No.
Antiques Roadshow.
Can't get into it. It's all
Really?
BS. It's all BS. Same with the what is it? The one where they go into the storage lockers and they look at.
Okay,
that's-
that was
that's
legit
all
BS.
Oh, look at this! It's this is a pen from the 1920s, $700. I'm selling that for and then like we're making $20,000 out of the storage unit, no problem.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's totally BS. And the one guy said that one guy was like, yeah, it's all bullshit, right? However, watching Antiques Roadshow, you look at some of these people that find out that Indian blanket that they had was worth like 10 grand, and they're like,
You mean Native American blanket?
what? Excuse me. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
But-
You
What
mean
kind of show
Native
are we running
American
here? This is,
textile with
ugh,
exceeding length?
jeez.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay, I'm gonna pivot a little bit.
Sure. Pivot.
This show is now the Antiques Roadshow Part 2. I'm gonna try to get it
Oh.
rebooted.
Nice.
Through this
What are
show.
you pulling up to the table here? What do you got?
That's it's what you got as the
Let me
question.
value
what
your
in your
antiques.
house would you bring to the Antiques Roadshow to show them, to get evaluated?
I have a
To get
vintage
judged?
nutcracker from my grandma. It's like a hand nutcracker from Sweden, hand carved. Probably not worth
Really?
anything, but it's like a handmade thing. And
Does
I'm
it
like,
crack nuts or is it just ornamental?
No, it does. It's like a legitimate one that you just use for your hand, but it's all hand carved.
One-handed?
A one-hander.
Damn.
How does that go, guys?
I was doing
My-
that trying to show a demonstration.
No,
I'm thinking the
it's-
two-handed one.
Right.
Oh.
No, this is like a small one. Like but it's still like a gnome or a dwarf, and he's got like a carved beard. You put the walnut in, and you just. It's cool.
Very telling. You eat walnuts, not pecans, not macadamia.
Walnuts are the best nuts.
You got to crack the walnut. You got to work for it. Just like a pistachio, you got to work for it.
I do love that.
You don't have to work for those so much. It's like
Pistachios?
sunflower seeds.
Oh,
You
no,
could
no.
do that in your mouth. Like a little.
You eat wait. You eat pistachios in your mouth. You crack
He
the
eats-
shell in your mouth.
Yeah, he
for
eats
sure.
them
You
like
could throw a
Hannibal
couple in your
Lecter.
mouth and pop them out and then spit the shells and chew the meat.
Why
Is that
would
what
you
they
just-
call it? The meat? Is that what they call
I
it? The meat
crack
of the
open
nut?
like a
The nut
handful.
meat.
The nut meat. Yeah, the nut meat.
No, okay, time out. Did you start tying knots with cherry stems first, or did you go straight to the
No,
pistachio
for sure not.
opening?
No, I was never able to master that party trick. I wish I
But
could.
you,
That'd
you
be like
jumped
cool,
to
right?
pistachios?
If you worked on it, you could do it.
Yeah, probably.
You know, I have pistachios. It's killing me that I don't have one here to test you out on camera.
It's just
Oh,
gross.
yeah,
like
man.
you got to crunch the shell open. And
Yeah,
just-
it's not as great. It's not as great as the sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are choice, but you can still do it with pistachios. In a pinch, when you got to do it. You gotta
I'm willing to
handful.
try
If
it.
you're driving, I mean, come on.
You know, if you get the shells in your mouth, you do get that saltiness.
That's
you
right.
get some
It's
of
all
that
about the salt.
flavor.
I'm like
but
a
I feel like
horse for
I've
that-
crunched
that
a
salt lick.
pistachio nut in my shell, and I'm like trying to spit the shell out of my mouth.
Oh, God, you don't have to like chew the shell. You just gotta.
But you
get it
crack
out
it,
of there.
and then it's like
Don't chew the shell.
it's
Not
like
with
an
the
eggshell.
pistachio.
It cracks, and you got a bunch of pieces in your mouth.
No, that's just technique. It comes down to technique in that.
This is reminding me of the time in high school I bit through a banana peel just to see what was going on there.
I microwaved a banana peel once.
I don't want to
I
hear
was-
the end of the
I was
story.
following a
Right, and then I got
I've
some rubber bands, and
I was following an anarchist cookbook recipe for like cheap drugs.
Did
and
you get a
it
copy
didn't
of
work.
that?
Didn't work. Oh, I mean, it printed it. Yeah, we went to the school library.
weird.
Printed it up.
Microwaving a banana peel didn't get you high in any way.
No, it didn't work. Well, I think we cut corners 'cause I think you're supposed to bake it, but we were like 16,
And you know what it probably is? The pesticides on the shell of the banana is what it is that's getting you high.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I prefer to put a Ziploc bag between a box spring and a mattress. That's just me, though. Kai, if you had one thing in your house that you could put on Antiques Roadshow, what would it be exactly?
Probably one of those old like lawn faucets. Yeah, I found a whole bunch of old lawn faucets.
Lawn-
Like like garden hose things, like old turn of the century garden hose connectors, faucets.
50 cents a piece. Next.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got, James?
They used to melt these things down during the war.
No, that's good copper there, man. That's good copper there. Come on.
Wait, is it like one of
They
those?
send you to the homeless guys.
I didn't say how many I have.
I have this. I don't know if it's like a jewelry box or what. It's got almost like a seashell and brass look to it. If you remember the movie Inception, when everything is like a maze, the city just bends up on itself. It kind of looks like that scene when the city bends up on itself, but it's made with like a seashell look.
James has this magnificent mystery box that sounds otherworldly.
Yeah. That I have nothing valuable to put in it.
James literally has Pandora's box.
Yeah, you
in his,
open
in
it
his
and
room,
the
yeah.
souls of the people around it start getting sucked into it.
Do you think this is any value? The lights dim.
I think I actually keep my lightning to headphone converter for my iPhone in it. I think it's the most valuable thing I own at this point.
Thing you don't want to lose.
What can provide me some actual music, you know? Something important like that.
Is there like a little dancer, tiny dancer? A Tony dancer?
Hold me close.
Inside?
You know, Matt and I have seen Elton John, so the fact that you're just throwing his name around.
Like live?
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
saw
Live.
We did,
This
yeah.
year.
Wow.
This calendar year.
Which is really
What was that
crazy.
like?
It's 2019, by
Is
the
it
way.
his retirement?
It is.
Farewell tour.
It's not 2019.
We saw him this year
Yeah,
in
so
No,
2019.
it's not 2019 now. Calm down. Why are
What
you
is
pulling
it?
that out?
What is it? What is it right now? It's not 2019 right now?
Yeah, it's not 2019.
What is it?
What do you mean, what is it? Why did I tell you that? Why are you talking like it's 2019?
What year is it?
No, I get it. Kai's looking forward to the future. When this is online, 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Sure. I was
That's smart.
Don't take
We're all
yourself,
like,
guys.
what?
Don't take yourself.
What is
savvy.
he?
That's super savvy.
Mm,
You know, I would have
yeah.
figured that.
What year is it?
But no Arthur fans? You guys didn't like Arthur?
We're talking about Dragon Tales, Arthur,
What is
PBS
Arthur?
shows.
PBS.
Clifford,
Nothing?
No,
Curious George.
AARDVARK.
no.
All right.
DW.
No, let's do the impressions. Let's get those out of our system.
We have impressions now?
We could.
I was ready to talk about Elton John and Elton John's nice tour we
Your
saw.
impression of Elton John.
Gee, I don't have one.
Elton was good.
Yeah, it was great.
He wasn't
What was the best part?
when his piano like moved him across the stage.
His piano moved him across the stage?
I mean, he wasn't moving himself.
No.
Let's put it that way.
He was a bit, waddly.
Non-mobile.
Yeah.
Jerry. He was a little bit Jerry.
He'd come out waddling and he'd be like,
Yeah, he couldn't jump
The
up.
dance moves were limited, huh?
right.
They were
I mean, he's in the 70s.
I gotta say, I saw the Stones and Mick Jagger, man. Dude,
recently.
yeah. Well, a couple years ago, but recently, like, you know, in modern times.
A couple years ago, so 2022,
Yeah,
2023.
Right, exactly. He came out of his cryogenic chamber, and he just fucking high-stepped up
And then
and
they
down
played
that
Start
stage
Me
for
Up.
like 3 hours. It was insane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, he like exercises specifically for that concert, right? Doesn't he have like a trainer that
Right.
I mean, he
has
must.
people throw beer bottles at him while he's on an elliptical?
It's like LeBron.
No one's throwing beer bottles at him. He's doing like full-on like mega stadiums now. He's way past that.
So
like,
plastic-
rowdy
You don't
bar.
think anybody's
Coors Light
mad at
cups?
him and like,
No,
oh,
no, yeah,
who's
right,
this
but no.
guy? Chicken stepping across the stage.
No
and
one's
throwing-
spending $700 to sit up front row so they can throw a
Shit
fucking
on Mick
plastic
Jagger.
bottle at him. Yeah, exactly.
Number one thing I'd do if I had money
Oh man,
is ruin the
That's the
decor
number
at
one
all
thing?
these.
go to really, really prominent, famous musicians in
the
their
number
front
one
row
thing.
and then shit all over them. This is boring.
Boo.
That'd be the. It's bold. That's a bold move, James.
I don't
You
know,
know-
man. I don't know.
like famous musicians, like they're doing corporate gigs though, where I'm sure they're getting shit on just in private.
Well, yeah.
They're just not on the jumbotron at the United Center.
But they don't care. They take the paycheck. You know, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Shit on me. I'm still getting, you know.
I saw Incubus at a corporate event, and I thought it was
a
like cool.
corporate event?
Yeah. It was like a
Incubus.
corporate party. Yeah, Incubus. Yeah.
Was that the
This
second
was-
time you saw Incubus?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it wasn't my first time. Yeah, for
The
sure.
first time I saw Incubus was
They were
with
on their
you.
way down. They were on their way down.
We
Let's just
saw
say that.
Incubus together was what I was getting at.
Yeah, right. So it was after that. Yes.
Yeah.
It was but it was hilarious because like there were hundreds of people there, hundreds talking. So not a lot, but no one gave a fuck. Like everyone just.
Right.
I walked up to the stage, like front row, center, and no one was there. I was like, wow, okay,
That's
no one
wild.
cares, no one.
You
so
light it-
they're sitting there playing their like full on jam list to nobody. And I felt bad. Like it was a cool show. I
Wow.
enjoyed it. I
Wow.
had fun, but like, ooh, you don't need to heckle them at that point.
Mm-mm.
That's
They feel it. They
Yeah.
feel it. But they know it. And like I said, they know what they're getting into. They're not there because people are coming to see Incubus. They're for a corporate gig. They're getting a check for this, you know,
Yeah.
performing at a thing.
yeah, yeah.
After that many years of shows, do you think you would be down for a pretty chill concert at that point? Like if you're putting on show after show, 15, 20 years like Incubus, if you're Brandon Boyd, would you be like, Oh, thank God we're just at Exxon here. I can just chill out while these
I like
trust fund douches turn around and sip Manhattans.
Definitely a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere for them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure their significant others aren't happy about it, but
Drummer's a little bit higher than usual. You know what I mean? Can barely stay on the 2s and 4s. What were they serving at this corporate gig?
Yeah.
Food and drink wise.
oh yeah, full on everything. It was posh. It was nice. It was a long time ago. It was out in L.A., so they had like interpretive dancers, like roaming through the crowd.
No.
It was,
Great air
yeah,
in
yeah,
LA.
yeah.
Great air.
Yeah. Oh, the air was just crisp. It was very crisp.
Yeah, it's probably before the
I was a smoker at the time, so I didn't know.
I was just gonna say it's before the
whatever.
vape clouds are everywhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah, right. Ruined Los Angeles, all these vape pens. These vape pens are really a problem. It's an epidemic, guys. I mean, let's go. Let's talk about this.
Dude, by 2023 we'll have that locked. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
When are you guys gonna have the intravenous nicotine injections? That's
We have patches.
why not just chew the gum? Why vape? Like, why not just
Yeah, why
throw
not chew
some
the
gum in your mouth?
That's fine.
I know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm asking.
You're right.
I'm asking.
Chewing gum looks just as cool as smoking something.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right.
What, a fucking USB? Like, that doesn't look super cool, smoking a USB.
But doesn't
stick?
it though? Doesn't it feel futuristic when
Yeah.
you have like a nice square piece of plastic?
Get off my lawn, kids. Yeah, I don't know. I just, this is one of those things.
You'd
some
rather
reason-
like a cigarette full of like carcinogens and nastiness and tar.
I mean,
Traditional. I get it.
For some reason, in thinking about smoking a Juul, like vaping out of a USB, I imagined Magneto, the bad guy from
Yeah.
X-Men,
Yeah.
smoking one, vaping one. Do you see it?
I can see it for sure.
Do you think that would be his?
Or like Tron, like it's part of the Tron bike that you're riding around,
Yeah.
blowing plumes
Stimulant.
off of it.
Hey, how are you gonna focus? You gotta
I
stimulate.
don't know how many more times this podcast I'm gonna go into the microphone.
Like 15 or 20.
Yeah.
We get paid per sound effect, so
Sweet, sweet.
try them out. See how many we can get down. The Tron thing might actually work though. You could actually use the clouds to see where the light is, right? I've never seen Tron, but I feel like it could be indicative of the
Never seen
race.
Tron?
You never seen
Neither.
any of the Trons?
Nah.
There's 2 of them. I think you said any like at Star Wars where there's 9
There's
of
like a
them.
cartoon too, I think.
Is
right? Probably. I don't know.
You tell me.
There's
I don't
not.
know. Look that up real quick. There's a Tron cartoon. Help me out here. Back me up.
The first run is worth a watch.
Can you give me? You guys have both seen both of them, the
I've
old and
not
and the
seen
new?
the Legacy. I've seen the first one though.
Oh, so you're
Okay.
All right.
Here's how this is gonna go. I want you to give me the sales pitch on the original one in 3 words. Kai, you give me the sales pitch on the new one in 3 words. And whoever can come up with it
Yikes.
first can go first.
It's electric.
Sold. What do you got, Matt? The original. Did they have electricity back in the 80s when they made that first one?
Vintage. It's electric.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you
So-
should watch it. You should watch them.
Okay,
It's
you know.
interesting.
If I ever start vaping, I'll watch them.
Yeah,
That'd
for
be
sure.
my plan.
The first one is like a special effects watershed moment.
Oh, is that one of the reasons people like it?
It won like a very like a special Oscar because of the special effects in that movie. Like you watch it now and you're like, ugh, but at the time it was like, this is revolutionary. The things that they were doing in that movie.
They were just like shining a flashlight through a bed sheet.
Yeah.
Shooting it with a
Really primitive ass shit, but it was like revolutionary at the time, which is like Tron Legacy.
They tried to do it with Tron Legacy as well. Yeah. I think
They
that
tried to
was the goal.
de-age Jeff Bridges, right?
Yeah,
That was
and that was one of like the earlier like full motion picture movies or whatever that does that, where they like.
I was talking to a friend about that, about the de-aging in movies, and like
Gemini
Benjamin
Man.
Button, Gemini Man,
Yep.
the Marvel movies, Captain Marvel, de-aging Samuel Jackson. You know how that's like a new thing. The Irishman with
Oh,
Martin
it's gonna be in
Scorsese.
every movie now.
Yes.
Every single movie. Now you're gonna have people that have been dead that they're gonna be.
Well, that's
if
the
they
thing.
haven't already done that.
You
I
got.
mean,
That's why like you see these whole other sides, smart guys like Robin Williams, the Beastie Boys guys,
2017, folks.
that have protected their image from not being used like that
Right.
because they know that that's a potential thing that could be coming up. You can make a fake version of yourself that'll sell a product even though you're dead.
As if like name recognition and just sequels weren't important enough before. Now they can just keep making Will Smith movies
Forever
as
and
he
ever.
gets
Yeah,
older
that's
and
yeah,
older
Gemini
and
Man,
older.
yeah.
Robert De Niro. You can have a young Robert De Niro in all your movies. You know, The Irishman. That's what that whole movie's about. You know, it's like he's young and then they age him throughout. But like
That's that one's especially hilarious because I feel like part of the reason he's appealing is his energy or his like vitality. So now you just have an older person's energy and vitality with the looks of a younger, uglier Robert De Niro.
But I also said you said it, name recognition. Everybody knows Robert De Niro is a great actor. So if you can extend his career more another 10, 15 years, because you can de-age him and things.
Now, does everyone know that because they've watched his full library and they're like, God, he's amazing? Or just like one of those things that like now at this point you've grown up hearing and you're just like, yeah, sure, this guy's a legend.
That's a great question.
It's
a great question.
No, it's definitely under the topic of or the purview of cultural competency, where you're like, yeah, you talking to me, right? You talking to me? Even people who haven't seen Taxi Driver, would have no idea about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's cultural touchstones, and he's been in a lot of them.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
So many of those movies.
You mean the guy from Meet the Parents? The Fokker? The head
Goodfellas.
Fokker?
I mean, jeez.
Such good writing. That was that shows that movie.
You want to milk me, Craig?
On the topic of writing and good writing for that was written or directed by Mike Roach, which did Austin Powers, which actually Austin is named after. Someone in this room is named after.
Austin Powers? You were named after Austin Powers, Austin?
Yes.
That's pretty
The
amazing.
man responsible is to the left of you.
I happen to have a Dr. Evil mug, too.
I know. That's really great. That's really great.
That is pretty great.
Which character in Austin Powers do you guys identify with the most?
Fat bastard.
In the second or third one?
The third one,
When he loses all the weight.
where he's the samurai warrior and he does that real cool spin move above the pond. No, I don't know.
That was like de-aging technology. They'd use some de-aging shit just to
A
make
fat
it seem like
suit
you can
and
move
some
that fast.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing I can relate to those movies is just my bush. Like, that's pretty much, that's pretty much it.
Thick bush, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your pubic lawn?
I mean, it's winter's coming.
Your lion's mane.
Mhm.
The little head and just the lion's mane around it.
Yep.
On the topic of shaving body hair, have you guys ever shaved your body hair, chest hair, armpit
Only
hair?
pluck. I just do the pluck.
I
Who's got
nared
that
my
time?
nipples
Special
one time.
treatment.
You nared your nips?
You nared your nips. Was there any chemical burn?
A little bit. It was at the request of my girlfriend, and we did it. It was,
Silky smooth.
it wasn't at the
Silky
request. It was more like, let's
smooth.
try this thing, and I was like,
You know,
fine if we have to.
I actually didn't assume you put the nair directly on. I assumed that nair was on someone's legs and your nipples were rubbed against someone else's legs.
Oh yeah, I mean that's.
That it was like an accidental nairing.
It's like a nair slip and
your-
slide.
Oops! How is that an oops? How would you oops that? Like,
Oh,
oh my.
oops. Oh, sorry.
They're just so far
That's not
apart.
how you-
They're
Hey,
so far
hey, buddy,
apart.
Can you please
No, it's-
watch my equipment over
See,
here?
po-
you
it's
put it in my
possible.
back. I knew it was gonna happen.
It's getting crazy.
It's possible, I guess. You're in the shower, things are getting wild.
The nair is not sticking like.
Tell
too
us
long
the
there.
nair story. What the hell happened there?
It's not much of a story, I'm a fairly hairless person, right? I don't have any
Must
hair
be
in my
nice.
body
That's nice.
except
I am.
the nips.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nips are the only place.
Why does the nipple hair come out quicker than the other hair? Because before I had any chest hair, I had nipple hair.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, James, let me tell you.
Protective. Yeah.
It has something to do with back in the day,
Nipple
thousands of
doctor.
years ago on the savannah or whatever it was. The animals that had the hairier nipples just survived more for some reason. Now, if we could figure out that reason of survival,
No, I'm down with this.
you know what I mean? Like
I'm down with this.
maybe predators just didn't like that like hairy quaff while they were
Listen,
eating.
if
or
they're
whatever
going
it was,
after
like-
my anus, as we talked about earlier, I'm sure my nipple hair isn't really going to protect them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't.
Well, actually,
If you have hairy nipples, you probably got a pretty hairy anus too, though.
in terms of your chest, the nipples get cold the fastest. So if you're on the savannah, as you mentioned, and you're trying to stay warm,
is that a nipple?
It's like
is
a
that
mini
a
sweater.
Interesting. That I would agree
a
with.
nipple sweater.
It's like a,
Mm.
Did you ever style your hair before you nared them off, or
No, I should have.
fluffed them up?
That's a missed opportunity right there. I could have.
Do you guys do that, by the way, when you shave? Do you like shave like weird patterns in and like do that kind of thing and be like, haha, and then you're like, no, I'm just kidding, and shave the rest of it off?
My face
Never?
definitely.
No,
You
Oh,
do
yeah.
it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You've never done that? Come on.
I don't have much to shave off. This is it.
I was gonna
This is
say
it, guy. I don't get the nice bushy Austin beard where he's got looks like Martin Van Buren.
He does have a nice beard. He does
I
have a
don't get
nice
to
beard.
look like that. This is it. I'm D'Artagnan forever. You know what I'm saying?
I've hit a milestone in my life, actually. This is breaking news, actually. Breaking news, 2023. So I've actually had to shave my mustache more than once a week.
Oh wow.
This is awful. I'm almost 40 now. This is a life crisis of mine.
You know what it's telling you? Just let it happen.
Use Nair.
No. Yeah, use
You
Nair.
should use Nair.
I'll
Just
nair
start
your
washing
upper
my
lip.
face in Nair.
I'll laser it off. We'll get a laser. We'll laser your mustache off.
What days do you shave, Kai? What are the 1/2 days you shave?
No, I don't have it locked down like that. It's more just like, oh, fuck, I got to do this.
You should put Nair on Matt's nipples, and then he can rub your nipples on your lips, and then you can get. the mustache taken off.
All right, buddy.
Pass.
All right.
Pass.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
your nips with Nair. How long did it take for it to start burning and you realized you made a mistake?
Faster than you'd expect. Faster than you'd expect. And you're just sitting there burning. You're like, okay. But the bottle says like 45 seconds. And I'm like, but it's burning now.
Did your girlfriend like reassure you? Was she like, oh, it's normal?
There's a lot of giggling. It wasn't really more reassuring. It's more like this is hilarious that you're in pain right now. You know.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a good time.
Yeah.
She was the one, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good time. I don't think I've Naired. Did you go out and buy the Nair for this reason, or did she have
We
Nair?
did. No, we went out and bought some.
God, so you got the
Oh
receipts.
man,
and
premeditated.
Right.
Jeez.
From
English,
like
English language.
a million years ago. I have the receipts. But yeah, no, it was definitely like let's just try it. And, you know, you're younger, you're in your 20s, and you're just being goofy. You're like, yeah, let's just nair my nipple hair off.
He was 29. 29 years old.
This wasn't that long ago. No.
So what's your policy now for the
Nipple hair? Letting it fly, dude.
the chest
Letting
hair?
it fly.
Yeah, let's
My lack of chest hair.
let's bring it out a little. Let's take the focus out a
Don't
little.
give a fuck.
You
Let
just
it
see what
grow.
happens.
Yeah.
I've definitely way less maintenance. I used to shave my chest on occasion.
Did you really?
Well, it was kind of more of an experimental thing because when I first had chest hair, and then it would be like the summer, and like I'd want like more sun or
Swim
like
faster.
for it to be cooler.
You'd want more sun? You think the hair was like blocking your sun?
Yeah, it seemed like it.
All those hairy guys with the
You don't think it's
hairlines
just like
on
your
their
natural pasty white flesh just prohibits tanning?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I'm just
whoa,
saying, you
whoa,
know.
Whoa!
Was that a personal attack?
This is a family member here.
No,
over,
it's
you know,
it's all relative. So I was just looking for my pasty chest to be as pasty as my pasty forearms.
Sure.
Of course,
You want it to match?
I have a
pasty-
friend who shaves his whole torso still today. And
Still.
he's,
Wait, like-
into his 40s now. He's
Really?
It's just like he's like, yeah, that's what you got to do. What are you talking about? You don't do that?
That's what you gotta do. I love when people say that thing, kind of thing.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
you just
do
gotta
that.
do this thing.
No, I don't do that. I don't spend time shaving my entire torso. That would take forever. First of all.
Oh, is
You
there
know-
that much hair? It's like
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit furry. I gotta, you know.
okay. My question about this gentleman is he jacked?
No, I mean he's in shape. He's not like Jack. No.
No.
Okay.
He's not like
maybe I wasn't
rippling.
clear. Does he have a six pack?
No.
I could tell based on his first answer of no when you asked if he was
Yeah,
jacked.
that doesn't-
No six pack was
No.
necessary.
No, no,
Just in
yeah, no.
case he was assuming jacked meant like big.
No, I mean he's not
Swole.
out of shape. He's not out of shape. He's in better shape.
But he
than I
shouldn't
am.
be
I mean, that's
shaving his
not like
chest.
My dad
a
just shaved his
benchmark or
belly.
anything.
He
Did
totally
he really?
shaved his belly. Yeah,
Come
absolutely.
on.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's
And we were
called-
laughing at him. We were
Yeah.
laughing at him.
What's going on there?
He just likes to do it. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, I just shaved it. And he's got like that beach ball big belly, and he just kind of rubs it. And we're like, what are you doing, dude? And he's just like, yeah, I shaved it.
It's that Southern Comfort commercial.
Yeah,
He's
and
just,
he
he's
just
just like that's
oh,
his.
he loves
he's just
that.
living that.
Yep, that's him. Absolutely.
It works.
It is cooler.
Yeah.
It
'Cause
is.
now I have
Maybe
a lot
he's
of chest,
too hot.
chest
You
and
think it's
stomach
oh
hair.
cooler, not
It's
like
way
oh that's
cooler.
cooler. You're talking about like temperature.
Oh, you thought like, oh,
like yeah, I
that's
guess it is
fly.
cooler.
Oh yeah.
Sure,
That's
you look
radder.
better.
That's way more rad.
Because I definitely like walk on the beach with my big old belly, like my big old hairy belly, and people are like, "Oh, Jesus Christ," you know.
You don't have a hairy belly.
If we're not
could
recording,
prove
I'm
it.
pulling
You
this
could
up.
put
I'm
some-
pulling this
you
up.
could
Prove
put some hair on
it.
it.
No. I'll prove it later. I'll prove it later. Trust me.
I'm sure I could use a little Nair, but
Yeah, let's
who's
Nair it
who's
up.
couldn't?
I'll full on just get naked and grease down later.
So
guys.
episode
That's,
3, we're gonna go buy some Nair and Nair Kai's belly on camera.
I mean, if you're gonna do the Nair challenge, you gotta do the whole body Nair, right? But
You said it. We're Nairing Kai's whole body.
well, not my whole body, someone's whole body.
I'm down with gimmicks. You like, we talked about radio earlier.
Yeah.
They did tons of that shit.
So much go. Morning radio is gimmick filled, right?
Right.
Sorry, was that your first party horn on
Yes,
the
it
podcast?
was.
Yes.
Oh, this
Got it.
Saves me a lot
First
of
one.
work.
First one.
Don't have to set up the sampler.
Yeah, Austin, just clip that and just repeat that for
We'll mute
the next,
you and put the,
the next
actual sound
30
effect on.
the next 37 years of this
37
podcast.
years. Oh God, I hope so.
What has been your favorite radio
Wait.
DJ?
Oh, whoa,
no,
whoa,
let's
whoa,
hear
whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa,
We're
whoa,
talking
whoa,
about
whoa.
narrowing
What's going
your-
on over
your
here?
belly.
This is questions.
I'll
You got
back
nothing
off.
but questions over
I'll
here.
back
He
off.
drives it. I love it.
I
He
know,
drives
come on,
it.
man, let's
He
go.
drives
Let's-
it.
We're on a
more
mission.
questions. I got a question for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Should college athletes be paid?
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
keeping it topical.
Wow. Yeah.
Keeping
We
it
don't.
topical.
We don't do
Change it up.
topic here.
There's no topic.
yes,
This is just a
undoubtedly
question. Like,
yes.
should
Yeah,
they be paid?
absolutely. There's no
I-
question here.
I was served by people working in college who were working in the mess hall, the dining hall, you know, just scooping spinach and, you know, flipping cheese quesadillas. So if people can get paid $10 an hour to work for the university, people can get paid more for playing basketball for the university.
Especially when it's all about money generation, right? If you as an athlete are making people show up to games.
Hold on a second. I fucked this up. I don't actually.
Okay, cool. Let's restart. We're not live mic here.
No. I don't want to actually It's not necessarily about keeping it topical, but I want you guys to actually take opposite views and argue that.
But we don't have opposite views.
Why do you love the NCAA, man?
Yeah.
What is it about the
what
NCAA?
Is it? What is it with the NCAA that you love so much?
Well, I think
Why should they
they're not at
athletes?
a professional level yet. They're college kids, right? Like like they're college kids, right? So they're learning. They're at a school. You know what I mean? They're not at a level yet where they're professional. So when you're learning and you're contributing to an institution, you know, you don't deserve money for that. You know what I mean? You're building up the institution. But see, this is the thing. I don't believe this at all. I don't believe this at all. It's like absolutely unfair for them.
You did slide into that role very naturally.
Play devil's advocate. We need to play some devil's advocate here. That's, you know.
Kai, you give us the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I have no opinion.
Get out of here.
I have no horse in this race.
Get out of here.
No, I think that's a problem. Is like I can play devil's advocate, but when I feel like I know the facts and the situation, it's hard for me to try to like put myself in the other, you know, like, no, this is the right way, right? Like, you should be paying these kids that are generating you millions and millions of dollars. You know, we're going to pay for your scholarship. And yes, college is very expensive, that you've managed to price that out for a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that $150,000 you're paying for them is equivalent to the millions that this player is generating. To like, all these college kids are coming to your games and watching these people play.
You know, I'm guilty of this too, but we keep calling them like kids, right?
Sure,
Even though they're
These
18,
fucking
19,
kids.
20.
You're 25. I'm calling you a kid still.
That's
Come
another
on now.
great. That's a great point.
You can go out and you can die for the country, but you can go out, you can sell
These kids going out there
jerseys for
dying
Duke,
for
you
our
can sell
country.
shoes for Nike, but you can't make a fucking dollar off.
Absolutely.
Off of any of this.
It's definitely egregious.
We're shitting on like the NCAA. It's probably gonna be like EA Sports. It's like those like games that they don't want to actually.
Well, that was the deal. There's actually a funny.
That's a big deal, though, man.
There's a funny story. The last
amount of money
NCAA
involved
game, the last NCAA college football game, is from like 2013 or 14, and I was reading an article about a guy that mods the game every year for the next iteration because they don't make any college football sports games anymore. So he takes the old one. Nope, they don't, because of that reason. They can't pay the athletes.
Because they didn't want to pay because they put the actual players' names on the back of the jerseys, and then they're not paying these kids.
So how do you do that? So they
okay.
quit making the games in order to just stop it. So this person takes his old game, and him and a group of people mod the game, create the rosters, go for all of these hundreds of people. They create individual score sheets, blah, 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 so that people can still play college football in a video game, right? Like, he spends all that time, but it's like, just pay the people so we can make a next version of this game. You know what I mean? I appreciate that person is out there doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Kai used to be doing gaming stuff.
I did a little gaming stuff.
Yeah.
I gamed. Matt's a gamer though, so we both gamed.
Why do you gotta say it like that? Matt's a gamer. Yeah,
Matt's
cool, dude. Yeah, we're
Matt's
talking about you
gamer,
though, dude.
Bro.
I haven't made games.
Deflect.
Right. I played games. Kai's made games, which is a different story altogether, right?
I was fortunate enough to be able to make a couple games. That was very cool. Yeah, that was neat.
Anything close to this college athlete dilemma we're bringing up here?
Not so much. I mean, we did some sports games, so like there was definitely licensing involved. We had some characters coming. We had Terrell Owens, come into the studio and sign some stuff, sign
That's
some
neat.
walls, sign some
wide
whatever.
receiver.
He really signed everything when he went into that building. It was kind of funny. That was like his thing at the time.
Yeah, putting his name out there.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he won't be famous by the time this airs. And again, 2022.
People are like, Terrell Owens, he's been dead for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Although by then, with the de-aging technology,
wow.
2.0. Come on,
he could be back in the league.
We're talking about the holographic TO.
He's in Madden 2027 and
running the Vegas leagues right now. You know, come on.
Jesus.
The new Vegas leagues, of course. You know, old Vegas, they dried up and had to move.
It's now in Utah.
Yeah.
So back to the college sports thing.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the college sports thing. California is the one.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the
came
ones
out there.
pushing that. Yeah, but I you're hearing like Illinois, as they say.
They were thinking the same thing.
A lot of the more quote unquote progressive states are moving towards this.
Yeah, yeah.
Not progressive enough, or do you find their policies to be non-progressive?
No. Let's say it right.
What's
though,
the
if we're gonna
quote?
say it every time. Progressive.
No, I like, wow, never mind. No politics. There's no politics.
All right.
We're not talking politics. We're talking politics. This is politics.
It was approaching that.
First
That's
of
why I
all,
was giving
getting
James the
close.
eyebrows.
First of all, guys, I just want to tell you, life is politics. Everything you do, everything you say is politics on some level.
And
So,
Kai
I
is
don't know-
philosophy.
I don't know
Preaching
how
to the
you-
choir over here.
I don't know how you avoid talking about things that matter in the world.
You
know,
can't. You can't. You want to talk about things. People have sides, and
But all right, I could try. I got one.
Okay.
You guys, again, we're going on this another topic
Mm-hmm.
here. All right, short shorts, pockets coming out of the bottoms or pockets not coming out of the bottoms. Who wants to take what side?
Matt, I got to go first last time, so I feel like it's your turn.
I think pockets coming out is trashy as fuck.
Trashy
Honestly.
right
as
here.
fuck.
So you're non-trashy. You like the pockets coming out. So
I'm ready.
what's going on here, guys?
I'm ready.
What do we need?
So you know those backpacks that they sell for like public schools where you have to be able to see everything in the backpack, or if you go to like Soldier Field, you have to bring one of those bags
I
that's
like
clear.
this. Yes.
You need to take those pockets and you need to create them with clear material so you can see what's
Oh.
going on, so that when you have that sweet ass iPhone 11 Pro, you got the 3 triple
You don't have to
cameras
take it out of your
going.
pockets.
You can see that.
shit
No,
out.
I'm saying it's like a
Status
peacocking
symbol.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well done. Well, I changed my mind. He convinced me.
Oh, he got
Trashy
you.
now?
I
Is that
think-
trashy now?
Debate
I think he's
over.
right.
Boom, done.
I think he's
Pockets
right. It's
out,
a status
girls.
symbol. We
Pockets
should
out.
show that shit.
And boys, pockets out, girls and boys.
I actually
And boys.
I really wanted to develop a belt that was a
What do you mean
wall-
develop?
Belts are
I
really
got-
developed. Like a utility belt?
No, like a Kickstarter type development of a product.
Ah, okay.
So I'm gonna come up with a prototype, and the prototype is basically gonna be a belt that also serves to be a wallet, so that all your credit cards, all the plastic you got, it's all on the outside. Like,
It's
oh,
called
shit.
Like a bandolier.
Fanny pack?
No. You
I
have
mean,
to be able
you're
to
describing a fanny pack.
look. You get an American Express Gold card. You want to be able to see that thing, right? You got to put that on
don't know,
the
man.
clear belt.
I don't know if I want people seeing that.
I
Look,
got an
I
American
hear what you're
Express.
saying. You're
is back
talking
to
about a
the signaling
bandolier, right?
thing.
You're talking like a credit card bandolier that you would wear across.
So I look like
Yes.
Chewbacca, but it has all my credit cards
Exactly.
across my
You're
chest.
talking about
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
exactly. Instead
Matt's
of ammo.
licensed to drive in the state of Illinois until
Yeah.
2022.
My Lego VIP card slipped in there with all the rest,
Dude, that guy looks 47. How does he still have a student ID card, right? Like, what's going on there? Is he still getting that discount? Because I am. I definitely am still
Back
getting
to
my
the
discount.
pockets. Come on, let's hear something with the trashiness of the pockets.
No, I mean, like, clearly it looks like if you've literally cut your shorts, right? So if pockets are hanging out, the shorts were designed originally to hide that, right? So if you're cutting it, it's like you're choosing to, like, destroy your pants for, like, a fashion thing. And I think it looks trashy.
No, I don't know. I don't think you're destroying it on purpose, though. They sell them like that, right?
Sure, but before they sold them like that, it was originally like
yeah,
a
the
decision,
OGs, yeah.
right? A decision to like do like you don't just sell like.
It's
open
also the same
pockets.
thing with like ripped knees, like that kind of thing. When you see anyone from Europe, they always have.
The ripped knees, like
Sorry, Europe. We love you. You guys are
previously
awesome.
distressed. The idea that somebody from Europe is going to listen to this at all, that tickles me. Thank you. I appreciate that, But yeah, no, distressed pants, acid wash jeans, things that you buy that are already destroyed, I think are just like silly.
The thing I never got, I'm a big hat wearer. Obviously, I got my hat on. Was the hat that's already like frayed and like ripped apart. I'm like, just wear it and it'll get like that. Like wear it out in the sun once in a while,
Not
and you're gonna
every-
get there.
In high school, I took the brim of my hat and scratched it against the wall, so it
To
looked all
do it.
great.
You-
Yeah,
you-
to do it.
oh,
I
shit.
remember that. It was a North Carolina hat, wasn't it?
Come on and raise
it a
up. Take your
James
shirt
with the
off.
memory?
Spin
Yes,
it round
yeah.
the
Baby
head like
blue?
a
Absolutely.
helicopter.
Actually, the Park Ridge Fire Department ended up burning that hat
Why?
What?
because
Lice?
long story.
Lice?
Because I'd wear it all
Tell
the time.
the story.
I'd
Was
wear
it
it all the
lice?
time.
Was
I was
it
part
lice?
of the Park Ridge Fire Explorers, whatever, and I'd wear the hat to everything back in like when I was in high school. I'd wear it to everything, and it was super frayed, and it looked so disgusting because I'd wear it to everything.
Yeah.
And it was sweaty, so they like destroyed it, they burned it, and then they gave me like a Fire Explorers hat.
That's hilarious.
But I guess the guy kept the hat. He's got it.
Wait, he burned it and then kept it?
They burned a fake hat because they didn't actually want to hurt my feelings, but I was so accepting of the new hat.
What do you mean they didn't want to actually hurt? They hurt your feelings
They
with
did.
You
the
were
fake
robbed?
hat.
No, it was
Yeah,
totally,
they robbed you is what happened.
I guess
yeah,
I'm not
they
explaining the
robbed
story
you.
correctly, but it was totally fine. I wasn't upset about it. It was like a hey, a phoenix rising from the ashes. Here you go. Here's your next step.
Oh, so it's like, yeah,
it was
yeah,
a positive
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It was a positive
It
thing.
was a
Hey,
But yeah, that
a
I definitely
ceremonial
frayed that hat.
a ceremonial
yeah, legit.
burning.
That's true.
They bought a decoy hat so they can burn it.
They did, yeah. But they gave me the
ceremonial
new
burning.
when they had like made new Fire Explorer hats, and I got the first one, and they did it by burning the old one. And
What is a Fire Explorer hat?
basically, so a Fire Explorer is like a Boy Scouts for a fire department. So some communities are like, cities will have like their fire department or the police do like a Fire Explorers, and you join a group and, you learn about, I was going to be a firefighter for like a half minute, and then I didn't.
I think that's a great.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
Good career.
Yeah. Good career. Thank you. Yeah.
We
Good
might
career,
have a-
but like as a kid or like in like, you're in middle school or high school and you're joining like a community and learning what these people do, it's like very positive. I had a really great time in it.
We might have a cousin getting into this actually.
Not.
One of our
Well, yeah.
cousins
He's
interested in
Yeah.
fire department work,
but not a fireman, paramedic.
That's true.
So it's different. They got to go through different.
you
different
still
classes,
you still
whatever.
get the hat though, right?
You
all about
know,
the hat.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you actually do.
Damn.
You have to.
Same uniform. Everything.
Matt, what turned you off this firefighter thing?
I'm claustrophobic.
Oh God.
Yeah, so I went to the National Academy in Arlington, Virginia. They had like a 4 or 5 days where we went and we trained and we did like arson exploration. And at that point, like I was putting on the full gear, doing the whole thing. I've actually had fought fires at that point. They burned down a house in Park Ridge, and they like sent us in like for training.
Come on.
I'm not even joking. You.
How old are you?
I was probably in high school.
Dude, this was
It had-
definitely pre-2000.
It
Yeah,
had
but-
some old tile in the
But
kitchen,
they like
so they
sent
had to
us
just
in.
burn
Like, I
it
mean,
down.
it was safe. Like it was safe. But there was an abandoned house, and for training purposes, they were burning it down. So the firefighters went in and took care of it. But then they set up some stuff for us to come in. So we would go in full gear, and we'd go in and we'd fight the fires, the whole thing, right? And then
That's adorable.
isn't it cute? It's fun.
Yes,
but
that's
like
so
as a
nice.
kid, like you were like, this is so
Oh, yeah,
fun,
I'll
and
bet.
and,
Yeah.
and you're learning how to do the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like they're giving you a half-assed education. Like you're learning how to like do the thing.
Yeah.
You have the big pry bars, you're prying open doors, the whole thing. It was wild. I think it's probably different now.
I want to see the waiver for this program.
Yeah. So we went to Arlington.
Today. Let's see the waiver today for this program.
So we went to Arlington, Virginia, and there was like a big trailer, and it's like, okay, so this is what you do. So it's like to pretend that you have smoke all over you, so you can't see. So you got to go into this trailer, and then it's pitch black, and they shut the door behind you, and then you have to crawl through spaces with all your full gear on, and it's about like 30, 40 pounds of full gear. So I go in, and
And you weighed probably about 30, 40 pounds at this time?
yeah.
or
I was
what?
like 10 pounds wet.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to go in, and they shut the door behind me, and I'm claustrophobic. And then I'm going through this small hole, and I feel the tank above me like catch on the piping, and I'm stuck. And I'm like, I don't like this at all. You know what I mean? And I just
You thought, I would have thought that you wearing the hat all those years taught you to duck down a
yeah,
little
right.
when
Like I
you're
would
going through a
crouch
doorway
in on
or
that,
something.
like buckle. So, but the idea is like you take your gear off, and then you push it through, and then you go through. But like I just was so like, I don't want to do this. And then like I can't remember Jeff. Jeff was the name of my the leader.
Shout out.
And he was like, yeah, we can
Jeff?
we can work through this. But I was like, I'm too claustrophobic. It'll never work.
He's like, here, take half a Xanny. You'll be fine. Yeah, I used to feel the same way.
You're fine, dude. Just pop this pill. You're fine. You're good to go. Yeah. No, I honestly wish I wasn't so cowardly, and I would have tried. But I was like, did that weekend. I was like, this isn't gonna work for
That's
me.
some fucking awesome role playing though. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. it's-
literally like
yeah, it was
that's
fun. It
pretty
was really
intense.
fun.
Did you do any kind of like role playing like that
Yeah,
when you
did
were in school or anything?
I actually shadowed a paramedic, similar person we may have been talking about in this podcast.
Nice,
I
yeah.
shadowed
Not
a
in
paramedic.
grammar school though, right? Like or high school?
I was
it
in
high
college.
School? Okay.
No,
okay.
it wasn't at that formative of a time.
I have also shadowed. I'm I basically slept in the dingy basement with cockroaches everywhere. I don't know if you had that experience.
I
or if you
didn't
were
know. Is this for
busier
the-
that night.
So I need
No,
to
I
shadow
don't-
him. I need to
yeah.
shadow him.
Yeah, you should. You should absolutely do it. Yeah.
Be like, hey, bud, I know I'm 32, but I'm gonna shadow you like I'm a kid.
Did you have any?
I had a terrible experience. It was
Really?
gross, but you can tell your story if you want.
No, there's not much of a story. It was like a one-day thing. It was a lot of like patient transports, like nursing home type stuff.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah,
Super fun.
Diabetic
It's- it-
patients going from different facilities.
I think
to
it,
get
I
their
think it's a cool
treatment.
job in that like you get to like move around a lot. You feel very connected to like different communities because you're in people's like residential.
Was he a paramedic at the time, or was he an EMT still at the time?
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Explain the difference to me.
Well, paramedics like can push drugs. They get
He's a
called at
paramedic.
different kind of things. EMTs are just kind of like.
He was a paramedic.
No offense, EMTs,
Pull out the paddles.
golf caddies, like.
Golf caddies. Oh shit.
I like you saying no offense to soften the blow, but you still do it anyways.
Yeah.
And then
Any
you wreck their lives.
No offense.
I'm not wrecking their lives. Hopefully they're all working towards being paramedics. I mean, that's
no
the goal.
EMTs are listening to this in 2027.
I don't know. There might be one EMT in Europe wearing a North Carolina hat. It's like these motherfuckers.
Come on and raise up. Stop hitting my mic, man. Come on, let's go.
That's twice. That's twice.
Sorry, we're getting the angles down here. We're figuring out the angles. Have you done any job training or like shadow stuff besides that? Like,
well, no. So like, I have a similar experience to him, where when I was in high school, we did a program. It was called Living in Space. It was kind of epic. It was great. They had a trailer on the side of our high school.
You went to space?
I went to space, guys.
When I think space, I think trailer.
Yeah. I went to space. This guy convinced me to go stay in his trailer for the weekend. I didn't know.
Filled you with drugs.
Yeah, it's just, it was kind of a trippy experience. Like ground control, the major time. Yeah, it's
Did you know you can light a cigarette with a hot plate?
Yeah.
And that's how Kai started smoking.
Yeah.
No wonder why he hates vaping and
That's
smoking
right.
so much. It's trauma. It's trauma.
That's right, guys. Hitting nerve. No, it was cool though. So they had I was one of the lucky ones that got dibbed to go on the actual mission, because then half the class got to go stay in the trailer for the weekend. Half the class had to stay in mission control and rotate through the.
Those trailer kids hated you, dude.
The kids not in the trailers hated us for sure.
Really?
We were in the trailer.
Okay.
Okay,
So that was
I didn't
good.
hate it.
Okay,
Yeah, they were cool.
The other half, right?
But we had to go on we had a little robot. We had to do little robot missions, drive this little robot on this deck and pick stuff up and bring it back in. And I was in charge of food, so I had a big fish tank that I was growing fish.
So Matt Damon, the
yeah,
Martian
exactly.
shit.
I was just shitting everywhere. I was just shitting everywhere and dropping seeds in it. And they're like, "What are you doing? It's only one weekend." I'm like, "I'm really buying in. This is that's how you got to do it."
I thought I'd get extra credit.
Yeah.
If I
They didn't like that. They didn't like that.
Self-sustaining ecosystem.
No,
You did do a self-sustaining ecosystem. You did the aquaponics thing.
Yeah, I did.
It's funny that
that's basically this
Yep.
preemptor to. That's kind of what I.
You did a thing and you're like, man, I could do this bigger scale when I'm older, and you did it.
It was cool. It was actually really cool. I recommend anyone doing it. I think it's
Give everyone an explanation for what aquaponics
Please.
is, in case they haven't heard it.
Educate us, please.
Yeah.
In
Okay,
3 words or less. Again.
Yeah. Fish, food, eat. It's
Succinct, I dig it.
It's so basically you have a tank, you grow some fish, the fish waste feeds the plants, you grow plants, cleans the water, and then that goes back into the fish system. So it's like a circular.
It's too complicated for me. Even dumber.
Yeah. Even dumber.
Yeah, even dumber.
You're not into playing God? That's not at your
It's
level
a bunch of
intellect?
stuff. It's a bunch of stuff eating each other's waste. So I got a bunch of things that like fish poo, and then I got a bunch of things that like plant poo. And I put them together, and they just ate each other's poo.
By that he means
Neat.
basil and tilapia.
Neat.
Yeah, basil and tilapia. Yeah,
That's neat,
Yeah, and we ate the tilapia. It wasn't worth it. I should have left them alive, because we would have had way more basil and lettuce and mint and all the good leafy greens, like herbs and spices, that kind of thing.
It's cool you tried that, though. It
Yeah, you
did
need
not
some
seem like an easy project.
Big ass tilapia to grow weed, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You need some lake trout.
I was going to say, you might need some giant fish.
We tried to grow
bass.
tomatoes, and I got one
Bigger
little
facility.
one little baby cherry tomato. Didn't.
You know,
I still have the tank set up, and it's just totally dry rotted sitting there, and I can't take myself to bring it down because I want to
Do it again.
bring it back up
Yeah.
and get it running again because it was so cool.
Well, I mean,
We'll make it a project. We'll bring it back to life.
you were that thing's god. You were that ecosystem's god.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
totally up to you.
That's right, I was. And then I ate them all. That's the kind of god I was.
That's okay. You got to lay down the law.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you gotta
Reset,
flood
right?
it out. You
Reset.
gotta flood it out.
Gotta reset.
If you're the one in control.
What was your Noah? Did you have a Noah, or just said, no, fuck that guy?
My Noah was a toilet flush system.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
funny. It did flush.
It lasted.
Yeah.
It did flush. Well, you got to wipe things out. You got
Once
to
in a while,
remind the
reset.
peons
Fresh start.
where they could be without your glorious assistance.
Yeah.
A cleanse is good for the people.
Speaking of wiping things out, so I got another one for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Vietnam, for it or against it? Austin, for it. You guys against it. Austin, come on, what do you got?
Wait, okay. Vietnam, the country?
The existence
I'm
of the
for
country.
Oh, no, no, no.
Vietnam,
No, no,
the
no, no.
existence of Vietnam.
Vietnam, the war. The war in Vietnam.
Okay, that's,
This is not even a question. This is horrifying. This
Well,
is
one of you guys has to take the side of it was a good fought war. It was like a well.
Listen, the communists were taking over
I got a
the
better one.
world at that point.
I got a better one.
Yes, please.
Kai the podcaster.
Burp,
For or
burp, burp.
How do you feel right now?
Vietnam.
How do I feel?
Yeah, like you're
Yeah.
podcasting, you're sitting here chatting with us. How do you feel? You were
feel
very
okay.
nervous about this, so.
Yeah, I was. You know what I don't like? This
Talking
fucking
about it.
puny ass mic that I have. When you guys have these beautiful, gorgeous mics, and I've got this.
I mean, it's just
that's
genetics,
intentional.
dude. You know,
Little,
you just
you know,
get what you
just
get,
like-
bud. You can just get what you get.
That's
Did you guys
intentional.
like crush a couple beer cans and make this mic, or how'd this?
I actually read a psychological study that if you leave someone totally unequipped, if you leave them feeling totally less than in an entertainment situation, they'll compensate and be more entertaining.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
It's like Naked and Afraid, but with podcasting.
it's to make you better than us.
Improv.
I need the work. Thank you. Appreciate it. Fine. You guys don't like the Vietnam one?
No.
No, that was real garbage. Yeah, give us a better one.
All right, fine. Okay. Cat-sized dogs or dog-sized cats?
Okay, now we're talking.
What?
I'll take either.
Just like the complete like, oh, here's like a real world event, and then just give us this like random hypothetical.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
sure.
no topic, guys, right? No topic.
I
here.
honestly
We're
like
just-
the random hypothetical a lot. After you, sir.
I get to pick?
Yeah, please.
I mean, which side are you taking? That's the question.
I am for sure taking cat-sized dogs.
Ooh, cat-sized
So you're
dogs.
you are
like
left.
You like tiny dogs?
No, I hate giant cats.
Mm.
I
you
hate
hate
giant
cats.
cats.
Oh.
Hate
Matt,
them.
your rebuttal.
I am all about giant cats. Give me the
Giant cats are cool.
giantest cats. But like, I don't want like, I'm not talking like a tiger that's gonna carve my throat out with a swipe.
No, of course not.
No, I want like a, I
Like
want
a
like,
Cheshire Labrador.
yes.
That's gonna fuck
I
you
want a
up.
big like, so like my 30-pound cat that I have now, like if he was 60 pounds and bigger, and just as lazy, just as snuggly, you know what I mean, and just kind of like lops around the house.
That'd
and
be
then
pretty
just
fucking awesome, right?
super awesome. You know, the throw-ups and puking would not be
Like a less bony Labrador, or like
my
a,
God.
you know.
more like a fat, lazy Labrador. Well, Labradors are pretty fat and lazy as it is, but
If you're thinking of like the strength per pound, this is gonna be a totally intense situation.
oh man,
You like the
There's
cartoon,
a reason there's not big cats
There's
in
a
people's
reason.
houses.
the cartoon Garfield. That's basically what we're talking about.
I
Because
can't make that much
Garfield-
lasagna.
Yeah, eat that much. Garfield in that situation, he's like a dog-sized cat in that cartoon. Jeff Davis totally drew him out of proportion, making him like a
Him
Labrador.
and Odie are about the same size. You're right.
Exactly.
Unless Odie's a smallish dog.
Well, that's possible. Anyway, when
A
this
dog-sized cat or a cat-sized dog?
this killing machine like rips someone's face off. What's up, man?
Card's full.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
What kind of
boy.
operation is this?
I see an extra one.
That's cool. Swap them
Swap
out.
it out.
Do that.
You get my nipple out while that thing's
It's
off.
on
real
the,
quick. Hold on, let me take this off.
It's on the
So
side.
Get out here,
It's
get
on the
loose
right
here. You guys
side.
want to see my belly? Yeah, I'll show you my
So it can
belly.
be got to be
Look at that,
extra.
there it goes. Look
Oh,
at that.
It's
Jesus.
still here.
It is showing us.
Look at
It's
that
still
hair.
on. It's not
Also-
recording.
Okay, it's got some hair.
Yeah.
It's got some hair. You got to
Come
use your
on, that's a-
imagination.
that's
It's
a-
like Robin
it's
Williams
a hairy
down
belly.
there.
It's a hairy belly. Was Robin Williams a hairy guy?
Oh man, he was so hairy.
Really?
So if you ever
Kai's
watch, he does a
trolling.
special and like.
Kai's
was it-
trolling.
No, I'm not.
I
I'm
thought
not.
you
I'm
were.
not. No,
Oh,
I'm not.
okay,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not.
I didn't think he was, but what we said is like, oh, he's getting me.
I'm gonna be showing clips of Robin Williams throughout this whole thing.
Robin
'cause
Williams
there's
back
no
hair.
camera,
Robin
so I'm gonna have to
Williams
show
back
something.
hair.
It's gonna
Something,
be Robin Williams.
a special that he does in like 2006, I think it is.
We're back on recording. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Matt. That was
Take your
rude.
belly out. We're not recording.
Okay.
Thank
okay,
you.
Cool.
No, don't do it.
No, it was already. We already did it. They all rubbed it. Like it was. I got a kiss
Nah.
from each one.
There's
False.
a special that he does, and
False.
he's just sweating
Yeah.
profusely. And you're like, as you start watching it, you're like, oh, cool, he's got like a silk shirt on. And then about 40 minutes in, all of a sudden, you close your eyes and you look at it, and it's just pit stains, sweat everywhere, back stains. And he's literally, you look at his arms, it's like cheetah arms.
Yeah.
Like he's our cheetah arms. It's like just like woolly mammoth,
Yeah,
you know,
fur
like
coat.
just
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
He's
I gotta
a
look
very
now.
hairy
I
gentleman.
got to really dig into that one.
We'll
So
play
not
the
only
clip.
hairy but sweaty as well.
Sweaty and hairy, man.
Mm.
It's a great special, though. It's a great special.
Good thing he decided to.
But yeah.
You know,
I'm actually trying to think about like why. How did everyone know he was so hairy? I feel like back in the '70s when he was releasing stuff, they must have had like.
But you look at
organs
his
in tank
arms.
tops
You look at
all
his
the time.
arms, and he's got it's
Yeah,
like
it's the arms.
thick black hair. Like so,
It's
you
all
were
the
in short
arms.
sleeves all the time because you are so hairy and hot. You're gonna see your hairy arms all the time.
Okay, in the vein of hypotheticals, would you rather have super hairy arms in a blank chest or super hairy chest and blank arms? For me,
Chest.
the
I
answer
want a
is
chest.
obvious.
Hairy
Chest, yeah.
chest.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Let's get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a hairy chest, nice mane.
I think so.
I have a hairy chest.
Why-
and
Do you?
Arms are not
Let's see it.
hairy.
Let's see it.
So
Yeah,
obviously,
Moderate.
you know,
mine's
you
pretty
mentioned
hairy.
you mentioned evolutionary advantage.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, why do you benefit from a hairy chest but not hairy arms?
I don't know. Is bugs to keep bugs off? Like what's the deal with the hair?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And a protective layer for bugs.
It's not like a mosquito is more deadly on your chest though compared to your arm.
Yeah, but
is
it get tangled in there and you might kill a couple. You know,
I just think hair in general.
Then you got like protein you can pick off. Like
it's a layer of protection, right?
Protection. That's it. It's like a body armor. On
things get caught in the hair.
I mean, let me tell you, if I'm gonna do Naked and Afraid, I'd want to be the hairiest motherfucker ever, right? Like I'd want my whole body just covered in hair.
It's a layer of armor
right?
that
yeah,
you
exactly.
you know.
No,
you
but if you were doing
maybe it just helps with like the razor, grass, that kind of thing.
Sure. If you did Naked and Afraid, though, I feel like you could make a lot of money if you were hairy, but then you use Nair to put like a company logo on your chest.
I like.
I don't know about a lot of money, but you can make some money. You can make tens of dollars.
I heard you had corporate connections. I heard you had some connections out in L.A.
Oh yeah. Wait, who'd you hear that from? What connections I got out there?
Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't come out for a few years though. So.
All right, yeah. Well, hopefully by the time this releases, I will have those connections to back up. I gotta call those Nair people.
The hydroponics set.
You're the Nair guy. Why are you pushing this on me? Yeah, he's got the Nair.
Nair is
I've
for
already
all
done
of
it.
us
You
now.
need to do it now. That's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
have hairless fish. That's my thing. I'm gonna work with Nair to have hairless fish. I think that's a good idea.
Pretty sure fish are hairless. Catfish have like hair.
Yeah.
Whiskers.
Look at that.
That's human hair. Catfish have
Catfish have human hair. You
Human
heard it
hair.
here first.
There's some weird, funky ass shit they pull out of the ocean. So I would
Speaking
not
of-
be surprised if
yeah.
they pulled out a hairy fish.
Wait, here you go. Topical fish. The snakehead fish. You guys heard about this?
Yes.
That
yeah.
can walk
No.
on land.
Yeah.
no.
So it's
I thought it was a joke at first.
Yep. So it's a fish that can walk on land and breathe air and go from like small pools of water to the next, but it's completely invasive and completely destructive. And now it's in Georgia. And they're just like, if you see this fish, kill it on sight.
blow
Kill it on
vape
sight.
smoke in its face.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a creationist joke from like the southern.
It seems like it.
Southern group that
They
are
made
like,
two,
this
like,
fish
movies-
walks on land, kill it on sight. Jesus.
No, but like it legitimately, it's like terrifying. It's like the next evolution of fish. Like they're just eating the ecosystems.
Well, something's got to eat that Asian carp.
Yeah. Well, it's beyond that. It's even worse than the Asian carp.
It was probably introduced for that reason.
Same.
Some
I just
genetic
was thinking the
engineering.
same thing. Yeah.
Australia's got the best track record of introducing new invasive species to kill the old invasive species. It's pretty incredible. If you
And
watch
that's
that,
why
like-
and that's why that country's full of like just like giant monster animals.
Actually, I think I read that it had a ton of megafauna before humans got there, and we wiped them all out.
I believe
We
it.
just like sliced them and diced them for food.
It's such a weird spot on the globe, Australia. So it would
So
make sense
separate,
that things would like live there that didn't you know what I mean? Like it would, have an ecosystem that was separate from all the other giant or not giant, but other spots around.
No, but the populations would diverge from what was common in like mainland areas, right?
Yeah.
I actually had this huge realization that I really want to visit like the Galapagos, Tanzania, all these
Oh, yeah.
places. where-
Galapagos. I was going to start talking about Darwin.
It's
him
one of the
visiting
last
out there.
places, man. That's one of the last places on the earth, and that's not going to be around long. Like it's getting. There's so many people visiting it, and the environment's changing so much that that.
What do you mean by
natural-
that? Everything's going to be here forever, dude. It's all fine.
Did you hear that Venice is going to start charging people to enter? Like it's going to be like a giant Disneyland where it's almost like a theme park of a city.
I did hear
I
that.
originally thought deer into the woods, but then you didn't say venison. You said Venice. All right.
Mindset.
I had a shoe and a bad joke there. Just real quick.
Mindset.
Hold on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, you're already walking through that place with like shin high water at high tide, right? Like,
Right. The only time I went was in the rainy, or not the rainy, the flooding season.
Man, I'd
in
love to go
January.
to Venice. I'd love to go to Venice. Just because of that. Like, it's just such a history. London, Venice, like these places that have been around for like thousands of years. I mean, maybe not, but hundreds of years. Then such history in these places.
Surrounded by water.
Yeah. But that's, it's crazy how that place has existed for so long. But now it's like, oh, within maybe 15, 20 years, we're going to lose it.
Are we talking about Los Angeles or Venice, Italy? I can't.
That place probably too. That place probably too.
Real talk, though. Hey, that'll get burned to the ground before it's flooded,
Ooh,
right?
Ouch. I mean, it's most likely.
It's super weird that like the idea
Putting
that like
bets on
they're
it.
how about they're cutting off power to Los Angeles? Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
These weird power outages there. Like, hey,
Honestly,
Yeah, what is that about? What
so
are they doing
because they have these power lines stretched across the state,
there?
Mhm.
Oh,
and they're all like, zzz, 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 and everything's super dry. So you're gonna cause all these like wildfires from all these sparks hitting the wildfires. And so like
Actually, I'm really hoping that at this point, the power outages can. That's normal.
so what are you talking about?
That's normal.
Don't worry about this.
The power outages in the Los Angeles area affect the podcasting industry, so that our podcast
Oh man, like we got
We have a chance?
to rise
We have a chance?
to the top.
Chicago
Holy
podcasts. We need to
shit.
get in on that.
What
Yeah,
percentage
boys.
of podcasts are coming out of Los Angeles, though? For real?
I tell you what, most of the podcasts that I listen to are all LA based.
Hell
'Cause
yeah.
Most of the podcasts I listen to are LA people.
It's got to be like 99%.
Absolutely, I'd be down for that.
At least 98%.
99 might be.
I don't want to give any of the podcasts I listen to more publicity because they get enough publicity, but generally most of them are comedians on the West Coast, right?
That's because they don't have real jobs.
They have
Kai,
beautiful
I'm
weather
gonna
all the
murder
time.
you. What are you doing, dude?
What's going on?
I'm
What's
gonna
up?
murder you. What's going on over there?
Well,
Kai
and
brought a prop.
I didn't bring a prop. I brought a gift, my friend.
Oh,
I brought
beautiful.
a gift. Thank you. Sorry, it's sloppy. I left him with a wet nozzle.
Oh,
No
wait,
one
I know
likes
what
that.
this is.
You don't know what this is yet.
Yes, I do.
All right, fine. It was supposed to be hidden, but I don't know how you're gonna hide that.
This is.
Yeah, I brought a gift. You got a lot of equipment in here, and
Mhm.
I feel like you got to look out for that equipment. So I brought you a security drone.
Nice.
Well, it's not ready yet, but
cannot
we
breathe
gotta.
this
Are you
for too long
gonna
without
help
me
us inflate
passing
this
out.
over here?
By
Oh.
security drone, he taped an old iPhone camera to a pigeon.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what
get
he-
this going. Yeah. That was a nice thud. That was a good thud sound.
Totally intentional.
Cut right there. Cut at that thud.
So
That's
awesome.
very nice of you. Bringing a gift.
Yeah,
Security.
yeah.
Shit,
Security.
dude.
Got some security.
You
for
brought
the,
you brought us a bottle of whiskey too.
Yeah, well.
Jeez.
He's
You
a
know,
friend
for
of the
after-
pod. He's a
for
friend
after,
of the pod.
After the pod, of course. You're never gonna
I want to nominate Kai as the first friend of the pod.
friend of the pod.
Shit.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Friend of the
Cheers.
pod.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
drink to that. Good
Yeah,
clank.
there you go.
Solid clank.
Mm.
The reason we had to nominate
doing
our
great,
first
Austin.
friend of the
I just
pod
enjoy
is-
the.
Austin's turning blue
yeah,
over there,
please,
but
God,
dude,
get that off the mic.
Do me
No,
a
it's good,
favor.
it's good.
Just
It's-
tilt
I
that
like it,
mic
it's great.
towards me a
I
little
can't,
bit.
he's filling it up quick, to
He
be
is.
honest.
I'm
He's got
impressed.
some
I'm impressed.
Fickle lungs
That
on
kid's
this
got
boy.
some lungs.
I'm
Oh.
actually, for this podcast in the future, I'm going to have someone in the background whittling like a craft project. It's going to be like two things are happening at once. You're listening to us banter.
Mr. Offerman, please
if you
come
get-
out. Please
Oh
come
my
out.
goodness.
Please come out.
Local.
So I know his cousin. So maybe
Oh,
we
name
can.
dropping there.
You know
that's
Tony-
what I do. I name
Tony
drop.
Offerman?
Tony Offerman. It's actually his, I guess his sister's son.
Well, don't get too deep
People
into it.
don't
Everyone's
know
gonna know
his
who it is
family
then.
tree. Oh,
They'll be
yeah.
Like, why
Oh,
didn't you
yeah.
help him out? Like,
People are gonna know, you know.
Jeez.
But yeah, I like to name drop. You know, we were talking earlier, the first one about celebrities, and I was thinking about all the celebrities that I've met.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk, I actually have met a few.
You have.
I have. I
You
was
met a
thinking
few.
about it because he was making fun of me because I mentioned it last time. Like, I've met some. Not
Last
making
time, I
fun of me.
last time. There was a last time.
Last
This
time,
isn't
this
the
is the
first
first
pod.
time.
What are you talking about?
Is this the first time?
Exactly.
Any whoozle. Yes, I've met some people.
So,
The
is
one in
it that you
particular-
forgot your celebrity interactions until this point?
Yes, I have.
I love this. I'm sorry.
It's
sorry.
fine. You guys are going to
Don't
cut all
laugh.
this out. You're going to cut all that.
I assumed we were gonna cut
no
this
way.
out.
This is great. This is excellent.
I'm trying to figure out something to talk about with this guy's huffing and puffing in the background
Yeah.
over
Oh,
here.
hell
He's
yeah.
doing great. Check it out.
Look
Here
at
we go. We got the.
Oh.
There we go.
Nice catch.
All right.
Nice catch.
All right,
So this
there
is
you
our
go.
new
Hi,
security
thank
system.
So we're
you.
just gonna keep this right in here, right?
Thank you so much, man.
Basically, how it's gonna go, right?
You're not allowed to touch the candle, dude. That's a
This-
real
fuck,
party
I
foul.
fuck it
I'm
up.
just kidding.
You know, this reminds me of shaving my chest, actually. Let me
So
tell
we're
you
gonna keep
why.
this-
Yeah. There's nothing like an extensive visual prop and a audio only.
Security drone. You got one now. Your gear is safe. Everything's good now.
Thank you, Kai.
I'm
Seriously.
super
That's
glad
very sweet of you.
Austin
Yeah.
didn't pass the fuck out.
Austin, I'm
Fine.
impressed. That was.
Thank you.
I was like squeezing the air out of it earlier because it was. I stole it from somebody, and I mean I bought it legally, but I was squeezing the air out of it, and I was like, damn, this is gonna take forever to fill up. So you crushed that. You got
Yeah.
that up in like
Good work.
No problem.
Thanks, young Austin.
Matt,
Anytime.
out of all the celebrities you've met, who
Oh
had
man,
the
I
strongest
regret
set of
bringing this
lungs?
up. I was like, Jesus
Who had the
Christ.
strongest set of lungs that could just fill that thing up in seconds?
Pauly Shore.
Ooh, Pauly
You met
Shore had
Pauly
the
Shore?
strongest set of
No,
lungs.
I called Pauly Shore though. We called Pauly Shore. We were prank calling Pauly Shore.
How did you get his
Was
number?
it actually him though?
Yeah, it was. I have
Diesel.
I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah.
I have the recording. Who's this?
It's the Shore Man.
I don't think so. Well, like that LA trip I was talking about, we met a comedian who had met Pauly Shore and had his number. And we were like, well, can we have his number? And she's like, sure, take his number. So then the next day, we had another girl call him pretending to be somebody that he had talked to before. And then we recorded it, and we thought we were just so funny. And it was totally Pauly Shore, and we're like, oh my God. And she's like, don't you remember me? And she's like, I think you're fooling with me. And, but it was him, yeah.
Sounds like he took it in stride.
He did. He was very,
nice
very
guy.
cool about it. But I'm sure that guy gives his number to many people and just doesn't care.
You think so? You think he's a number giver?
That was the thing. He just gave it to all of these females.
Desperate for work? Or, desperate for the...
So this female comic was like, yeah, take his number. Fuck this guy. So.
Oh, female comic. Which
yeah,
one?
It was her name was...
Don't throw it out there. Don't throw her under the bus.
No publicity,
Come on,
please.
Don't throw her
Funny.
under
I
the
was going to
bus.
give her some
No, I'm
cred.
sure she's great, but don't throw her under the bus.
You're
You don't, if she's
Throw
dishing
her
off
under the bus.
A-list celebrities
she's
only.
She wasn't an
off
A-list. I
celebrity
don't even know.
numbers.
I can't find her. I've looked for her since
you
then. I've looked
kids
for her
on the
since
street,
then, and I
call
cannot
this-
find her.
Really?
Yeah.
It didn't work
Yeah,
out.
so maybe she changed her name, or it didn't work out. But I've looked for her since then because she was funny, and I was like, oh man, you were funny. But yeah, it's not.
She had to change her name after Pauly
But I
Shore
won't
found
even
out.
mention the name.
Pauly Shore found out she was giving out the number, so he threatened to kill her. So she had to actually change her name just for safety reasons.
Monster.
Matt's part of a conspiracy to kill.
The Illuminati, actually. The globalist conspiracy, you might say.
Globalism came up. I was wondering how
Sorry,
long.
no politics. Oh, you want to give us another topic to talk about? What do you got? You got notes here.
I
want to
do,
see
I
your
do.
notes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let's see. What do you got?
You got notes. You guys
He's
all
got
have notes.
graph paper.
Listen.
My note says, don't swear and don't touch the mic. And both of those things I failed at. So
we're just
let's
touching it.
move.
We're just like, all
gonna
right.
draw.
He can't help himself.
Record. Delete that, please. So James is signing stuff. He's doing his doctor's signature.
I'm doing my thing. You
No,
do
so
your
here,
thing. Don't worry
really-
about this.
You guys know people who you don't know them, right? And you're sitting there, and they want you to know that, or they want to talk to you, but they don't know how to like break into conversation, so they sit there and they make like noises like,
And we're like,
oh my god, like it's just waiting for you to look and make eye contact, and then once you make eye contact, they're like, can you believe this? And then they start talking to you about something. Like, have you ever experienced that or no?
never.
Come on, really, never?
Just kidding. Of course I have.
It's just like if you're in like line at Starbucks and someone
Just
is
like in public. You're in public.
Generally, people want to commiserate.
Yeah,
You know?
and then they're just like they just need someone to like lock eyes with, just so they can be like
Validate my shit feelings.
bring
right
you
now.
into their whole story, or ask you for money, or like some sort, like just however.
I signed up to get the
Nope,
the new.
not getting involved there.
I signed up to actually get the new iPhone like the day it came out, thinking that when you picked a time, you could just show up at that time and pick it up and leave at that time, which is not the case. They have it now so
Could be the
that
case.
you sign yourself up to wait in line for a significant amount of time. Anyway, I show up in this line, and it was tons of people with that exact thing. The guy right behind me in line, he was in like hospital scrubs. I don't know if he was like a doctor
he was
or
a surgeon.
nurse
He
or
just
what.
saved some lives. He got off of work and
He
came to
saved
the
some
line.
lives, and then
Yeah.
he wants to get excellent photos of his dog at home.
Right. Yes.
Don't take this the wrong way, but it's all of the entitled people who think they need to get the iPhone the day it comes
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, present company included. But he was huffing and hawing right behind me like, oh, you fucking pick a time.
Right, but
Yeah,
I mean,
by
there's
himself, right? He was by himself. There's no one with him.
He was by himself.
Yeah,
When you
that's
got-
that's just like
Yeah.
you're asking for someone to lock eyes with you, so then you can just get into that story with them. And regardless of the story, I'm not saying it's always like it just doesn't always end. In my latest experience, doesn't always end with like asking for money, but it's just like
No.
I don't want to engage with you. Like I'm having my own thing here. Like say I'm out to a restaurant with my wife, and we're sitting at the bar and we're like waiting or whatever, and then like something's going on there, and it's like I don't want to involve you. Like you're not in our.
It sounds like you're old and you just don't want to oh,
Get off my lawn!
I'm
I
set in
think-
my ways. And no, I'm just
I
kidding.
think
I'm
he
totally
has a friendly
kidding.
face. I think Kai is like welcoming to people complaining.
You're
Yeah.
generally a gregarious kind of person, and I think that like
Mm.
you have that personality where people want to like engage with you.
I don't know about that. You guys have experienced this though, like other people. It's not just me, right? Like it's
Yeah. The
No,
issue
no, you're magnetic. No, you're magnetic.
the issue is it's always negative.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
it is always negative. And when
Because
you can
otherwise
already-
it's bragging.
yeah.
Like commiserating has that special ability where you could do it with anyone at scale, a lot of people. But if you try to say like, oh, I'm doing well financially this week, or you're trying to say something positive, oh, weather is super nice, it's either corny or you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like,
People don't want to hear positive things. People don't want to hear positive things. People
what
want to
is
hear
it
about how
about that?
I want to hear positive.
Why is it
things.
easier
People
to
think
bring
they
up
wanna hear
negative
positive
things with a
things.
stranger?
Because
I don't know.
yeah, that's true. Why is it easier to bring up negative things with a stranger? Right. That's a great question.
Why are we assuming that someone's like more willing to be dragged down into despair and unhappiness?
because I don't know, maybe the assumption is everyone is in despair and happiness, which, you know, most people are.
True.
Oh, like maybe the idea is that everyone experiences bad things, but only so many people experience good things.
Yeah,
So
misery with company or something like that. I don't know. Is that a saying, or did I just?
Yeah,
misery
does like
yeah, I have a thing of butchering.
Butching.
Butchering,
sayings,
butchering like sayings and like things like that. Yeah. So
If you understand, it makes
just
sense.
bear with me.
Wait,
Bear with me on that.
I think actually in talking about this, I figured it out though. These situations you're mentioning, usually you're in public, so you know it doesn't have to be bad necessarily. But if you're like waiting, you're in line somewhere, and that is inherently negative.
That, though. Yeah. Well, first of all, you can't get away from that. You can't be like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. You're in line. If you leave the line, then you're like losing your spot.
Right. It's due to the nature of the waiting of having to be in line. When you're being, you know, personally chauffeured, when you're being brought to your limousine, and right this way, sir. There's no one to complain to. There's no.
I mean, there is. There's the service staff. You can complain to them. I mean, that's what I do.
And they just kind of sit there and take it from you.
Jesus. Can you believe these people? Like, you know, you say that to your
as he's
limo
trying to
driver.
show the nips.
Yeah. I forgot that this was when I had my shirt off. I had to, I forgot this one button.
Can't believe I'm paying you minimum wage.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna ask for a tip, aren't you?
So I mentioned most recent time that someone was trying to commiserate with me. Did something this happen recently?
Yeah.
with
What jarred this for you? What brought this about?
Yeah.
Restaurant?
Laura and I were out to a restaurant. I mean, my significant other, my wife, was out in a restaurant. You guys know she's Laura. Her name's Laura. Was out at a restaurant, and this lady was just sitting next to us, and she was just like, for a good half an hour, like sighing and hemming and hawing, and just like she had her phone out, and she'd slam it down, put it back up, and and the second one of us looked over at her, it was just
Who was it? Who was the one?
It wasn't me.
Hey.
I was making it awkward to the point where like she was like really laying into it because she was next to me, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it, lady. I'm not falling for this. I know what's going on.
I don't care about you, lady. I can't. I don't care about you.
You know,
I still ended up Googling a whole bunch of stuff for her because she claimed that her phone didn't work while she was still getting text, and
she brought you into her web.
Yeah, she brought it in. And
what were you Googling for her?
Pool halls nearby that she can go to. She was looking for like a rough man, I think.
Yeah.
You know, this is making me think about ways I can fuck with people next time they try to like give me shit in person.
Next
or
time
try to
James
complain
wants
about
to be
something.
a rough man out and about town.
I was wondering if that rough man comment was going to slide through. It didn't.
I just like smiled at you for like a half beat.
You mean a rough boy?
A rough boy?
You mean a rough one?
Austin's a rough boy.
No, but seriously,
Rough thick boy.
Next time I'm out and someone's like, you know, saying like, oh, you know, this person just cut us, or like is trying to complain, I'm going to try to top them. I'm going to try to somehow make everything seem less important, or to make the misery seem diminished in some way.
Well, that AIDS diagnosis I got today really is just, just
Can't
something
be
like
overt.
You're going
harsh.
straight out.
Oh
there.
yeah,
It
no,
can't be that
something
overt.
that's so offensive.
First of all,
and so
bro,
dark.
aren't you on Truvana, or Truvana or whatever that is? Like,
Is that the that's the AIDS drug?
That's the AIDS drug that came out 20 years ago. That was a mistake, and now everyone's
Dated reference.
You're talking
No
about
idea.
Trivago, the
Dated.
hotel website?
Trivago,
The hotel website?
the hotel website. No, not them.
Oh, sorry.
I was thinking something where, the misery or the disaster was in the mind of the person who's viewing what happened. Like somehow, if you're with someone, like you mentioned, you're with your wife Laura, if she could, as she's trying to play this prank on someone, when she leans over to whisper something in your ear, you pull your belt off, you put it in your mouth, and just bite down and like, ah, God. If in that moment they're just like, I don't know what just happened, he just got some bad news. We felt the need to somehow clamp down.
Just to overdo it, right? Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
I'm just spitballing. I'm just trying to figure out things we could do. We could try out. Might be worthwhile.
Yeah, that's great. Why are you guys dying over here? What's going on?
So my beginning of that was him taking off his belt, and I'm like, what is he doing? And then he ripped it out and then bit on it real fast.
Yeah.
It was more of the speed where that belt came up. Like you've done it.
It was
before.
pretty fast. That was like
Instantaneous.
It's kind of like it's something I do every day, right? Like practice.
There was some practice on that.
1 to 2 times a day.
Wow, you really had me though. I was
You brought up naring your nip, so I at least had to snap my belt off and bite down on it.
bite down on it like a fucking maniac. I love it.
Plus, Kai lifted his shirt when the camera was off to
I did. It might not have been off, but we'll see. We'll find out.
It wasn't off.
That's
Yeah.
all right. It's a sexy belly.
I do have the 4K bird's eye cam in the ceiling. It's
That'd be really great, just like this shitty bird's eye view of us, and just his belly just hanging out.
I am also with China in banning Winning the Pooh. I don't look like I don't have the face, but I got the belly.
I thought I thought no China politics. I thought we weren't talking about that.
no, I'm sick of all this.
After the war, when they look back at this, it'll be great.
After the war.
Where's Christopher Robin in all this though? Honestly, he ain't saying shit.
That's
This-
right. What
this
is
whole thing-
why isn't he backing this up?
Yeah,
Well, Ewan McGregor, who is the older adult Christopher Robin.
was he really in the
He's a-
movie?
Yeah,
Movie
Christopher. They just made a new Disney movie called Christopher Robin, and he's like an adult Christopher. Remember the movie Hook?
Yeah.
Hook. I saw
It's
those pictures.
Hook
Robin Williams.
with Winnie the Pooh, right?
Oh,
Like,
you didn't mean the Hook adult softcore pictures?
not
No,
that one.
never
So
mind.
Robin
I mean, I
Williams.
didn't see
Robin
those.
Williams again, as Peter Pan, right? And he's an adult version of Peter Pan. So Ewan McGregor is an adult version of Christopher Robin. So it's like him reconnecting with that young.
Is this
you know,
coming out or is this already?
It's already
come out?
released. It's been
They
released.
already released it. When?
Last year.
Man,
The reason we didn't
I
see
gotta
this,
get back on that Nambla.
Gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
So the reason no one saw this movie is no one wants to see Christopher Robin as an adult.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
He's like smokes 2 packs a day. He's
Right.
fucking
Oh,
got, like,
here's
a
my
crazy
adult
whiskey
well,
addiction.
So here you go.
I'm just describing myself.
If you really want me to get into it, I'll tell. It's the nostalgia, right? It's the nostalgia. It's the people that are of a certain age who remember Winnie the Pooh, that are now 30s with kids that want to relate to a character that still relates to Winnie the Pooh. Right?
Yeah, but okay. So as someone in their 30s, 10 years ago, like we all are, anyways, the point is, like, someone in the 30s, like, aren't you guys getting sick of the nostalgia porn? Like, isn't it getting too much?
I mean, I'm sick of sequels. Yeah, I'm sick of
Absolutely.
franchises, remakes.
So-
name recognition. You know what I'm talking about that?
We all know that I'm a Marvel movie fanboy.
now we do.
Well, I am. Disgustingly. I love Marvel movies. However, I do agree that the sequelization and the franchisization of the movie industry is a bit gross, right? But it's cheaper. It's cheaper for them to use a product that's already made and
Yeah.
that people will go see because they're familiar with it
Ugh,
than
yeah,
creating a
I
whole
know.
new thing, right?
I get it, but I just don't agree with it.
Right.
I mean, I'm sick of Star Wars. I grew up loving Star Wars. Star Wars is the jam.
Well,
I'm
that's
sick-
a
I'm
whole-
sick of Star Wars.
Well, that's a whole other ballgame. But they ruined Star Wars. I mean, they ruined Star Wars.
Well, they like everything else. They just cram out, just episode, or you know what I mean? Like movie, sequel. Like let's
douche.
douche.
I have, like
Why
I
is
said,
Star Wars different?
Yeah,
I
why
think-
is Star Wars different than
I
Marvel?
think because Marvel didn't have a movie that came out in the 70s that was so influential that it changed the game.
they had a
you know,
comic though.
But it's different. It's totally different.
They released Superman movies back then, though.
Sure,
Yeah, they
but
did.
Superman is
And Batman.
Yeah, I mean, comic book movies have been around for a while, right? Like
Right.
that. But the way they've
Your
elevated.
story is
them-
falling apart, man.
I didn't even start my story, dude. That's fine, Kai. I won't get into this. It's fine.
No, I want
Shut
you to
me-
get-
shut me-
I
shut me
want
down.
you to get into
Shut me
this.
down right away, dude.
No.
You know,
I
if
want
I
you
was
to get-
sitting here as Magneto vaping on a vape pen, you guys would be way more
a
chill.
USB
I'll tell
pen,
you that right now.
vaping on a USB.
Why? No, but let's continue, please.
No. I just think that like the genre movies have just taken a different form. You know, people come to the movies now for like these giant, big picture things. You know, movies are expensive.
Who goes to movies?
Right. I only go to a movie when it's like Marvel movies, Endgames, these big giant things that I want to see on a giant screen. Like perfect example. I talked about this last one. Martin Scorsese
There is
said
no
the
last
Marvel
one.
movies. Sorry, Martin Scorsese. Fine, brand new. Martin Scorsese said that the Marvel movies are not cinema. Right. You heard this.
I did not, but that's.
So that's what he said. The Marvel movies aren't cinema.
Allegedly.
And it's right. That's kind of my feeling about it. Like the idea is though that they're not like niche cinema. It's not like cinema in the fact that it's art. It's these big giant pop movies where millions and millions of people are going to go see it and enjoy this like giant spectacle of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he's trying to say. It's like it's not like you can't appreciate it for art's sake. It's like popular.
He was only saying they weren't cinema though because he got an advanced screening of the 9th Star Wars movie. That's what had happened there. He
Is
saw
that when he
this,
said
he's like,
that? Is that when he
this
said
is
it?
different.
Or he's just,
This is totally different.
He's pulling my
No,
leg.
just
He's pulling my
busting
leg.
his balls.
Why are you pulling my
Busting his
leg?
balls. It was Rogue One. He saw an advanced screening of Rogue One.
I just think it's ironic because
Don't you think?
his newest movie is The Irishman, which is on a streaming service. It's not released in movies. It's on Netflix. So the idea that you're going to
What's
talk
the
about
Irishman
cinema,
about? What's that one?
It's about Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like Jimmy Hoffa and like the whole mob situation in New York at the time, right? But it's ironic because you're releasing it on a streaming service. You're not releasing it in cinemas. You're releasing it on Netflix.
No, they are.
Sure, but in small
Like,
theaters.
Small theater.
A
Is there
few
one
weeks
on
after or
Lincoln?
same.
no, there's
or-
a timing of it though. It's either coming on Netflix first, it waits 3 weeks, then it's a cinema, or vice versa, isn't it?
I think it comes out in the same day. It'll come out in Netflix and cinemas because
No,
No? Okay.
it's specifically different. Has anyone heard this?
No.
No.
Tell me if you
No, they have some sort of deal where I think for the first time where they are having it release in smaller theaters for
First?
like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Artisanal batches.
Yeah, the art house people are going to go pay money, and then they'll get the masses for Netflix, I believe, after the fact.
Interesting. I did not hear that.
So they're fucking around with all sorts of models. Speaking of playing around with
Because no one knows
formats,
what they're doing.
models,
Because no one's going to movies anymore, right?
That's
Like,
what I'm
they gotta
saying because
figure it out, yeah.
you don't want to go see a movie like The Irishman in theaters. You want to go see a movie like Endgame where it's big.
But do you?
Did you see Endgame?
But do you?
and we'll leave
I
you with
did.
that question, but do you? But do you actually want to see that? We put in our chunk of time. That
Is
was
it-
our
is that
time.
it?
That's
Shit.
it. That's our time for
Oh,
the day.
Oh.
Well,
Alright.
Again, thanks for joining us. We were
see
able
how fast
to
that went by?
That went pretty bad. Yeah.
It went very fast.
Yeah.
went through 4 camera batteries,
That's pretty
6 SSD hard
great.
drives.
You guys are all right.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Thanks
real.
for talking, guys.
This is a great setup, and
Absolutely.
I hope we do it again
what's
soon.
the name over here? We gotta give him a name, like
It's Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock.
Yep.
All right,
wanted to call it-
Herbie's gonna keep this shit safe.
Albatross. Is that not?
I thought that's the name of the podcast.
Oh, boy.
We got some stuff to figure out still
Well,
here,
yeah,
boys.
Exactly. We got to stay consistent branding.
Yeah.
Well, when 2023, we'll meet up again.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys.
Sounds great.
Cheers,
See you
everybody.
after the war. Bye.
Well, that wasn't recording.
Wasn't recording at all.
No.